All right, people, just wanted a little quick video for you on bank holiday. Let's talk about Tony Yoka. 10-0, undefeated heavyweight Frenchman that nobody, I mean nobody, is talking about. Why is that? Dillian White's not calling him out. Anthony Joshua's not calling him out. Tyson Fury's not calling him out. This is the guy, I believe, everyone is avoiding and no one will mention his name. His last fight was obviously not too long ago against Joel Dijeko. That guy basically got punched around the ring for 12 rounds and decided he had enough. Who's he fighting next? Who would you like to see him fight next, people? I mean, looking at these rankings, not that I'm a big person for looking at rankings, because I think they're all a complete shambles. Let's have a look. So he's not ranked in the WB. He is ranked in the WBO. He's number 15. The IBF, he's ranked number 8. WBC have ranked him number 13, and he's not ranked in the WBA. Okay, so really, why can't we see him start fighting these guys that he's ranked with? I mean, let's have a look in the WBO. Tony Yoka against Caballero. I mean, that would be a kind of step up to a degree. Fury was meant to fight Caballero in December until that all fell through, obviously. Hrgovic, would be a good one. I mean, these are two undefeated prospects, though Hrgovic, I believe, is in the process of negotiations with Michael Hunter for an IBF eliminator. So that's a good fight for a start, but that's fair enough. So we'll leave that one. Do you know what? Even Yoka versus a Ruiz, I would take that. I would take that fight. I would watch that all day long. Where is he ranked? So he's ranked number 8th in the IBF. Again, Caballero's just above him. Makes sense. Pulev, no, for me, he's shot to pieces now. I don't know how much longer we're going to see Pulev at the top of the heavyweight division, to be perfectly honest. Do you know what? I'm just seeing a name. I think Yoka versus Otto Wallin is a good fight. I think Otto Wallin is, since the Fury fight, his stock's definitely gone up. And I think he's a guy that is definitely being overlooked. So for me, that would be an interesting fight. What about in the WBC? Again, Caballero's there. Michael Hunter's tied up with Hrgovic. Joseph Parker, he's got that fight with Chisora. I'm not going to give that much more airtime, to be honest. I mean, look, the Joe Joyce fight is interesting because those guys have got a lot of history together. But obviously, we've got the issue at the moment with Joe Joyce still waiting details on whether he's going to get that fight with Usyk for the interim title for the WBO. That's looking more and more unlikely as the weeks go on. Yeah, he's not ranked in the WBA. Just quickly, obviously, these rankings, if anyone wasn't aware, they are obviously all a complete joke. But if I'm going to give any sanctioning body right now any sort of credit, it's the WBO and the IBF. Only on the basis that if you are ranked first, you will fight next. The WBC and the WBA, just forget about these rankings half the time, because most of the time, if you are ranked number one, it means everything and nothing at the same time. So some of these rankings are ridiculous. I've mentioned before, why is Deontay Wilder ranked number 1? He hasn't fought for almost 14 months now, and he got bashed around the ring for 7 rounds and knocked out. Alexander Usyk, how long has he been number 1 with the WBA? I mean, this was updated quite recently. I know he's been number 1 for a while now, obviously, with the WBO, because by default, if you're the WBO cruiserweight champion and you vacate and go up to heavyweight, you automatically become mandatory, which never been a big fan of that one personally, but the WBO still do take their mandatories somewhat seriously. I mean, we've obviously got this situation with Joshua and Fury at the moment, which isn't going away. But let's get back to Yoka. I want to see Yoka this year fight a couple guys ranked in the top 15. I like Otto Wallin, and if Hrgovic or Hunter weren't fighting for the IBF Eliminator, I would take one of those guys, but they're obviously tied up. So my number one's going to be Otto Wallin. Kabayel as a number 2. And do you know what? Just seen his name appear on a couple of the rankings here. I'd just put him in against Charles Martin. You know, those would be probably my top 3 guys that I want to see Yoka next step up against. Yeah, I'd say we're going to go Otto Wallin, we were number 1, Kabayel number 2, and Charles Martin number 3. So yeah, I mean, what do you people think? Let me know in the comments below. Who do you want to see Tony Yoka fight next? He's 28 now. I think the time Yoka gets a world title shot, we could be looking at 2 to 3 years down the line, and by that point, I strongly believe that Joshua and Fury won't hold those belts anymore. I think they would have vacated, potentially retired. I still think there's a couple more banana skins to come yet with regards to champions being beaten. I don't think we've seen the last of it like we saw a couple of years ago with Joshua. But yeah, interesting fighter, interesting prospect. What do you think, people? Obviously, give it a like and leave me a comment if you enjoyed the vid. And obviously, if you want to be notified when I drop another video, then please consider subscribing. Cheers, guys.